you need to, whomever decided to pick out your Halloween costume, you need to pull them close to you, and you need to fire them in their face directly. Because, see, I don't understand if you were trying to wear black or if you were looking for a brown. But all the Batman in the world that I've seen, they've always had a black suit. His just happened to be brown, and it was so embarrassing. I mean, it looked like he got it out of Kmart when Kmart was open. Like, Kmart...
Oh, child. And so, in the world of girl, like, who you lying to? So Tami Roman's daughter, Jazz, and I like Jazz. I like Jazz because when I've watched her on Basketball Wives interact with her mom, she just seems so confident, like she knows what she wants, and I like people like that. I'm a Libra, and so sometimes we can be indecisive, and we like to surround ourselves around people who sort of know, like, I want to do that. Oh, okay, cool. I can decide whether I want to do it or not. And so she recently posted on her IG story that she was a virgin, and everybody was like, yeah, some people was like, yeah, we know you're a virgin because you're gay, and some people were like, girl, stop lying, we know you done got you a little peen. And I was the one that was saying, yeah, girl, we know you're a virgin because you're gay. At least you ain't got no peen. And so she went on Fox Soul, which is a YouTube show for a black audience on Fox. For Fox Network. Keisha Cole has a show on there too, and so does another one from Real Housewives of Atlanta, the former. She used to be on there. So basically, she went on there, and to sum it up, she was like, I know that I posted a picture on my IG story, or I first posted on IG story that I was a virgin, and I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say, and in 2020, I can say that, yes, I'm bisexual. I've had relationships with females and males and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, girl, you might as well just got up there and drunk water. This is what you should have did. And left it at that. Because you didn't change or you didn't add to anything. You simply, just stated the facts. So poor Travis Scott. Travis Scott, you need to, whomever decided to pick out your Halloween costume, you need to pull them close to you, and you need to fire them in their face directly. Because, see, I don't understand if you were trying to wear black or if you were looking for a brown. But all the Batman in the world that I've seen, they've always had a black suit. His just happened to be brown, and it was so embarrassing. I mean, it looked like he got it out of Kmart when Kmart was open. Like, Kmart was closed, and he was still trying to wear this Batman suit. It was horrible, especially for someone who prides themselves on being fashionable. You just expect more. You expect better. You expect him to be a little bit more outlandish, and I didn't get that from him at all. Frankly, I was embarrassed for him, but he was embarrassed for himself, obviously, because he deleted his Instagram. And like, you can't. So like, when you're a celebrity and you go through stuff and it's so embarrassing that you're so embarrassed, the best thing for you to do is to fall back, not delete anything, because then that's admitting that there was something wrong. So now that you've deleted your Instagram, it's like, what do you come back? Because we know you're going to bring your Instagram back. It's the biggest marketing platform for any artist. So we know it's going to come back. But when you bring it back, what is going to be a picture of you in a better Batman suit? It's going to be a record. It's like, what is the strategy behind you running away like this? It was totally lame duck factory. Not to mention your baby mama is a fake billionaire. Like, Kylie Jenner, I wouldn't care what anyone had to say. I'd be like, okay, and moving right along, tomorrow will be here. You're the man with the McDonald's meal. Like, come on. Cardi B and Offset divorce is officially off. As we've known, I didn't even want to talk about this because I knew that I initially reported that they were divorcing because Offset had financial issues and he wanted to resolve them before and not get Cardi entangled in them. And I think during the pandemic, with a lot of folks, a lot of businesses have lost a lot of revenue, and I think he realized that too. I don't know if that, is still the case. I'm gonna, double back and just to see that, he may have absorbed and absolved all of his financial obligations, and this might now be a good time for them to reconcile and come back. They didn't need a divorce. But at the same time, it's just like, it's sad that it's so easy to play with the divorce nowadays. Because even if it was a real divorce, I think most people would just have separated for a short period of time to see if it really was something and then announce the divorce. I think they just divorced, separated, and then realized how much they wanted to either be back together or how much the lie was doing more damage than good for them, because they were still publicly out, still hugged up, and he's still making comments about her, not negative but positive, and she's still supporting him. So it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, move this shit on, release your album, Offset, do what you're gonna do, but like, we don't like the plan. Like, find something else to do. This is how you elevate your career, when you strategize on another level. So yeah, your first album, you had the relationship story. So next album, what do you want to do? Like, do something different. You have so many different resources at your fingertip. Be a video album, because a visual album, because her music is okay to some of us, but I think what pops more is her visuals. Like, we love her visuals, and if she can give us a visual album where she's doing her records from beginning to end as it's like a movie, girl, you might have something on your hands. Because I can't help it, but Cardi B is something nice to watch. I'm entertained by, let me tell you two things I'm entertained by. I'm entertained by the fact that she says the shit that we all be wanting to say. One time she was talking about, why do people keep their ketchup in the refrigerator and not in the counter? And I said the same thing. She's like, I don't want no fucking cold ketchup on my hot dog when I'm about to eat it. Hello, me too. Like, I get it. So I and then secondly, she has an air of style, and that's different than air of, like, she can dress. Like, I think there's one thing a person can dress, they can don themselves in like the best of the best. And then I think there's one thing of having style. You can wear whatever and then have style, have presence, have, there's this ambiance of you in that outfit. And I feel like she has style when she puts stuff on. She matches the hair with it, the clothes, so give us a visual album, Cardi. Stop all this divorce stuff. We know you're better than that at this point in your career, even though you're one album in. Unfortunately, that album eclipsed you to a level that we're expecting a little bit better. And I think that's how Beyonce stepped the ladder. Every time she stepped up, she didn't go back down, doing the same thing she was doing at her earlier stages in her career. And I think most people can follow that trend. So I'm not going to be staying tuned to the Cardi B and Offset marriage stuff. Now, if she does something else in her career or he does something else, I might do that, but I'm done reporting on that. We'll let that go. Speaking of Beyonce, she is going to be featured in Vogue's December issue, and the interview that she had with that, a lot of snippets have released. A couple of things that have been interesting to me is the fact that she actually has 2 beehives. They both have about 80,000 bees, and and she actually produces honey. She says she uses it because her daughter has allergies, and a lot of times, a lot of the honey is a good remedy for her allergies and her sinuses or something like that. And I thought that was clever. What a great way to play on your sort of what you're known as, like the queen bee, beehive. That's cute. You might have a product on your hands too. I don't know if you're trying to break into that lane for your children, for your daughter to grow honey, or I don't know what you're doing. I'm here, but you might have a lane for that, and I would be here for it. I'll tell you that. And also she talked about how she wanted to slow down and how she had produced, and I think people don't really give credit where credit's due, but she had dropped album after album, production after production, tour after tour, and her bodies of work aren't just, I'm going to the studio for 2 to 3 months, do some albums, drop some records, go on tour. She literally takes her time with her music, and she puts a lot of creativity in not only just the music, but the visuals, the release, and then everything that goes on in between that. And then she spends a lot of time on putting on a great production, which is her tours. And so And doing all of that, and I want to say in the span of like the last 8 to 7 years, and having children, she realized that it's now, one thing she said was her voice is much more clear when she's still. And I think she's realizing that spending time with her family, being calm, and having this element of sort of, living each day as if it's a new day to do something new, to discover something new, and not necessarily be in that routine of, okay, I have to go to the studio and do this, do that, do that. It's allowing her to be more creative and to find more meaning and do all those things. And I tell you, as a Libra, we do that all the time. There may be times where we take a hiatus for 2 or 3 days just to drain ourselves of any of the energies that we had in our systems, in our mind for the past couple of days, so we can have room for new spaces and new things. And so I see that happening in her life. And her children are getting older. She wants to be, sort of in their lives, and it's important. I think with Adele did a similar thing. She had her baby, she got married, even though she experienced a divorce, but it allowed her time away from the camera, away from the media, to live a normal life, go to Target, go, be a regular degular. So shout out to Beyonce for realizing this and not feeling pressured to just drop music, because you have a really good body of work. And it's also frees her up to, and now we're going to watch, but to develop other artists, to be featured on other artists. It allows her that time to, okay, I'm going to put my craft, my good stuff to the side, and I'm going to just go and, be fun with it, be free spirited with it. So we'll stay tuned. And I hope, a part of this, this journey for Beyonce, is she also shares that with us, because a lot of times we look at her as if being so perfect and so statue and so everything is great. But when you hear stuff like this, you understand that she's just like all of us. All of the noise sometimes is too much, even if it's great noise. It's just too much on one person. So shout out to you, Queen Bee. So shout out to Ariana. She just released an album, Positions. It's an R&B album. I won't say it's her best body of work. And again, I'm just now going through it. I haven't really listened through it all the way. My Hair, Nasty, West Side. Those are a couple of tracks that I'm sort of feeling right now. But it shot all the way up to #1 on Billboard. Of course, there's nothing other than #1 was expected for this album. So shout out to Ariana Grande, and I'll continue to listen to it. A lot of people on Twitter dubbed her as the queen of the Quiet Storm. And Quiet Storm is sort of that R&B that you listen to, the late at night vibes. I would not say that. I'm not giving her that stamp of approval just yet. We'll see though, stay tuned. And then the last story is only because T.I. just always finds himself trying to put on his cape and fly to the rescue. And I always say it's the short man complex. The short men, and I have short friends. I don't mind. It doesn't matter to me. But some short men feel as if they have to be the hero all the time to make up for the height difference that they lack. And I feel like T.I. is a perfect example of that. So in Atlanta, there's a sushi restaurant that decided to put this black couple out. I think they were about to sit down and eat, and the guy told them that they weren't in appropriate dress code because they had on sneakers. And I guess you can't wear Nike and Adidas sneakers in the restaurant. And the man went off. He was like, no, I'm not going nowhere, blah, blah, blah. And he told the man, you got a lady directly behind me sitting at the bar with sneakers on, and you haven't said anything to us, but you want us to leave. And, they got into a scuffle, and they kept going at it. And I think his wife made a comment to him along the lines of, it don't matter what you got on, you still an N-word. And the manager thought she was talking to him, and he went to jump at her, and her husband was like, not today, And so all in all, they ended up leaving. Police was called, and they took pictures and made it go viral. T.I. to the rescue. So T.I. ends up calling out the restaurant, going to the restaurant, meeting with the manager. The manager, we're 100% wrong. We're so sorry. We shouldn't have done it. Oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. And, and the manager's like, he reached out to the couple to invite them back, and they're like, they'll never come back. Of course, I would never come back. I would never come back to an establishment like that. And here's my thing to T.I. It's great that you come to these establishments, because I think it's the second time you help sort of bring some attention to a restaurant. It's great that you do that. But here's what you have to understand. You can't do a one-off, because there's not enough of you in the world. So when you do one-offs, it affects the person that it's helping. Like, you help the couple out. So what happens to a year from now and another black couple comes there? What you need to be focused more so on is policies. Whereas this store understands that if there's a dress code policy, please make sure that it's widely shown to everyone that comes. So when you do have these instances of people who aren't appropriate in their dress code, you can point it out not to just them, but to everyone. You can walk them to the sign and say, hey, this sign says no shoes. So that way, if I see someone else with no shoes on, I can double tap them and say, hey, I'm leaving because I have sneakers on and you do too. The sign says no sneakers. We all have to go. That's how you start alleviating some of the racism, the systemic racism. You start instituting policies that forces restaurants and forces all patrons to adhere to, not just selective racism. Oh, you guys got to go. Nope, the sign says everyone. That's what you should be trying to focus on, T.I. But I'm not going to discredit you for, actually speaking up and, jumping to their defense, because, I do think that was a credible thing for you to do. You have the platform, you have the wherewithal, so shout out to you. But again, next time you do this, make sure you tell them, hey, can we get a sign up? Can we get something up? Do you have black people on your board? What is your diversity and your leadership? Do y'all have training? There are so many different things that you can have done. Like, you can even start a panel of a black coalition panel in Atlanta that literally surveys the restaurants or the businesses in the area and gives them a score based on their willingness to work with minorities, period, and publish that score. And so start letting people be able to visibly see that, oh, that place, they got a 20. You don't want to go there. Oh, that place got 100. Start using our foot traffic and our dollar as a way to really show these people, you can't be racist to me. I dare you. I will go right on this website and report you, So that is all of the stuff I have today. I have had so much more stuff to talk about, but I'm on this sleepy time sinus soother tea. It is really, really good. It is some really, really good stuff. It has chamomile, spearmint, lemongrass, and other soothing herbs, and it's really good. As soon as after I'm done with this, I'm gonna go hop right in bed and call it one. So